The story of Bitcoin, from mystery to global phenomenon. Imagine a world where money isn't controlled by governments, banks, or any single authority. A system where people can send value directly to each other, anywhere in the world, without permission. This idea might sound revolutionary, but it became a reality in 2009 with the creation of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's story begins during a time of global financial uncertainty. In 2008, the world was shaken by a major financial crisis. Banks were collapsing, trust in financial institutions was fading, and millions of people were losing their savings and homes. Right in the middle of this chaos, a mysterious person, or group of people, using the name Satoshi Nakamoto, introduced something completely new. Satoshi published a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. In this document, they described a digital currency that could operate without banks, using a technology called blockchain. The idea was simple but powerful. Transactions would be recorded on a public ledger, verified by a network of computers, and secured through cryptography. In January 2009, the first Bitcoin block, known as the Genesis block, was mined. Embedded in it was a message referencing a newspaper headline about bank bailouts. Many people believe this was a statement, a critique of the traditional financial system. At first, Bitcoin had no real value. It was mostly used by programmers and cryptography enthusiasts experimenting with the technology. One of the most famous early events happened in 2010, when a programmer paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. At the time, it seemed like a fun experiment. Today, those Bitcoins would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. As the years passed, Bitcoin slowly started gaining attention. More people began mining it, trading it, and accepting it as payment. Online marketplaces and early exchanges appeared, allowing users to buy and sell Bitcoin for traditional currencies. However, Bitcoin's journey was not smooth. It faced skepticism, criticism, and even fear. Governments were unsure how to regulate it. Some associated it with illegal activities because of its anonymity. At the same time, many experts dismissed it as a temporary trend or a bubble. Despite this, Bitcoin kept growing. Around 2013 to 2017, Bitcoin entered a new phase. Its price began to rise dramatically, attracting investors and media attention. People started hearing stories of early adopters becoming millionaires. Someone who bought Bitcoin for just a few dollars could suddenly find themselves incredibly wealthy. This period created a new type of investor, people who believed not just in making money, but in the technology itself. They saw Bitcoin as digital gold, a store of value that could protect wealth from inflation and government control. In 2017, Bitcoin reached nearly $20,000 for the first time, shocking the world. Then, just as quickly, it crashed. This volatility became one of Bitcoin's defining characteristics. Prices could rise or fall dramatically in short periods of time. But even crashes didn't stop it. Institutional interest started to grow. Large companies and investment funds began exploring Bitcoin. Some even added it to their balance sheets. Payment platforms started integrating it, making it easier for everyday people to buy and use. By 2020 and beyond, Bitcoin entered the mainstream. It was no longer just a niche technology. It became part of global financial discussions. Governments, banks, and corporations had to take it seriously. Today, Bitcoin is seen in different ways by different people. For some, it's an investment, a way to grow wealth. For others, it's a hedge against inflation, especially in countries where local currencies are unstable. And for many, it represents financial freedom, the ability to control their own money without relying on banks. At the same time, Bitcoin still faces challenges. Its price volatility makes it risky. Regulations are constantly evolving. Governments around the world are trying to figure out how to deal with it. Some support it, others restrict it. There are also concerns about energy usage. Since Bitcoin mining requires significant computational power, this has sparked debates about sustainability and environmental impact. But what about the future? Bitcoin's future is still uncertain, and that's part of what makes it so fascinating. Some believe it could become a global reserve asset, similar to gold. Others think it will continue to grow as a digital currency used worldwide. There are even predictions that it could reshape the entire financial system. At the same time, critics argue that it could be replaced by newer technologies or heavily regulated by governments. One thing is clear: Bitcoin has already changed the world. It introduced the concept of decentralized finance. It inspired thousands of other cryptocurrencies, and it challenged the idea that money must be controlled by central authorities. Perhaps the most interesting part of Bitcoin's story is that its creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, disappeared. To this day, no one knows who they are. This mystery only adds to Bitcoin's legend. Bitcoin is not just a currency, it's an idea, an experiment, a movement. From a small project created by an unknown individual to a global phenomenon worth hundreds of billions of dollars, Bitcoin's journey is one of the most remarkable stories in modern history. And the story is far from over. The question is not just what Bitcoin is, but what it will become. And maybe the next chapter is being written right now.